Welcome back. When you see an Olympic champion or a Nobel Prize winner, do you ever think to yourself, how do they do it?
Yes, I do. Joining us now is Steve Siebold. He's studied the thoughts and philosophies of the world's top performers and compiled all that knowledge into this book. It's called 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. And we're so excited to have Steve back. Welcome back, Steve.
Hey, thanks, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. I love your background. I want to just kind of give a little snippet. You trained with world-class coaches as a juniors tennis performer from the time you were age 7 to 18. Once you were done with that, kind of reaching the top of where you could, you studied top performers and what made them kind of break that ceiling of getting to the very top, became obsessed, and that's how this book came to be. Is that a fair representation?
That's perfect, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about this. One of the first things you say is world-class performers think bigger.
Yeah, they really expand their thinking and their belief systems out of the ordinary person's belief systems. I think because they're trained to do so, for one, but really anyone can talk themselves into, and that's really what it is, talking yourself into thinking bigger than you've ever thought, thinking outside your comfort zone, because a lot of things are probably closer to people's potential than they really realize.
You know, I think it's fascinating. Tiff brought up your tennis experience. The missing ingredient you said was the mental aspect, because you feel now that you definitely had the ability. And so you say that champions operate from objective reality. Explain that.
Yeah, they operate under the mindset of the way things are as opposed to the way they wish things were. In other words, when I was working with Andre Agassi down in Florida during the late 80s, I was still playing pro and he was just a brand new pro. And I saw him play and I played with him one day and he said, you know, you could be one of the best players out there. And I said, you know what, that's great. I appreciate the sentiment, but it's not true. I don't have your talent. I don't have the talent at that very top tier like you do. And that's an example of looking at things the way they are as opposed to looking at things the way we wish they were.
Do you think most people, though, have the talent and just not the mentality, or are some people missing the talent too?
I think most people have the potential. I'm not sure about the talent, but I think skill probably surpasses talent, not maybe in professional sports, but in many things that the dreams people have of achieving, that they really are possible if they think big and they convince themselves through self-talk and through other methods that they can do these things, that if they have the right help and the right support system, that they're capable of achieving more than they probably ever believed they could.
Your next point, I would argue, is true for people who are happy as well as successful. And what you say is that world-class performers aren't addicted to the approval of other people.
Yeah, this is such a big one. I mean, you've just got to let it go. You just got to stop caring what other people think about your dreams and your goals and your actions, habits, and behaviors, and pretty much everything else. Because if you're tied to it, as the studies say that most people are, most of us are severely addicted to the approval of other people, according to all the psychological studies that have been done for the past 30 or 40 years. We've got to get past it to really push past the norm. If you want to be more successful than most people, you've got to think like the most successful people think, and that includes letting go of the addiction to the approval of other people.
This one's great too. Choosing world-class, choose discipline over pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all realize at some point in our lives that discipline is really probably the secret to success. If there is a secret, that's probably it. We've got to have the right habits. If we don't have the right habits, we have no chance of really succeeding beyond normal, beyond the norm, let's say. But if we discipline ourselves in little ways, it's amazing how those disciplines add up.
Yeah, and you say whether we like it or not. What about this? Champions seek solitude.
Well, they do because they keep their own counsel, probably more than anything else. In other words, they have the mental toughness to go to get away from all the noise and all the clutter and all the social media and everyone's opinions and think for themselves using their critical thinking skills. And then they come back and they make their own decision. They make decisions fairly quickly and they change them slowly. That's what the studies show. And they rely on themselves, on their own decisions, and then they move forward. And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not. But they have comfort. They comfort themselves in the idea that they're responsible for their own decisions and their own success.
All right, we ran out of time, but just yes or no, really quickly. I have to know, do you think world-class champions tend to be morning people, like early risers?
Yes. Is that fast enough?
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject, a whole nother day. Yeah, thank you so much, Steve.
You're right. Thanks, ladies.
Love it. You
Good
can
to see
find
you, Steve.
Steve's book on Amazon or go to the website mentaltoughnesssecrets.net. Now we got to have him on again.
Yeah, we need those habits, the morning habits. All right, up next, we're going to meet a woman who had some serious discipline. She lost 180 pounds.